Amazing movie.
It's very.
It's his first. Like,
Are we
feature.
really starting this off with movie talk?
Because he goes on this rant after they get essentially locked in a bar surrounded by vampires, and he's like putting shotgun shells in and doing all these things.
Oh.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking
He's
about.
like, they got finished killing these things, and like, all right, so he's filling this gun up. He's like, all right, so I don't want anybody to tell me that they don't fucking believe in vampires, because I don't fucking believe in vampires, but I believe my own goddamn eyes. So can we all agree that what we're dealing with is fucking vampires? He talks to a preacher. How about you, preacher? Yeah. Vampires. All right. Does anybody know anything about vampires?
It actually feels like a moment from Salem's Lot.
I want to see that.
Tons of
the
great
book, but
So D&D Beyond Overlay doesn't work. That was kind of in the chat.
Good.
It's like, when are we going to get the D&D Beyond Overlay back? And then, which would show your character.
Yeah.
It's Twitch is discontinued.
Character sheet? I thought we purposefully were avoiding that. I thought.
Actually, I mean, it was just because Twitch didn't do it.
for like the first episode.
Oh, just for the first one.
they could see it, and then it.
It disappeared.
So I mean, Matt, kudos to you for taking that and running
That
with
was
it. Like,
real
That was
good.
amazing.
That was great.
Oh my god.
And thank you for letting that, Warren, for letting that moment come in.
I had no idea what was gonna happen. I was just as.
Well,
I was right there with you, man.
You said
Fuck.
Matrix and Inception. I'm like, oh, we're gonna have some fun. We're creating
You
something
did that,
like
man.
Let's
So
do
this
it.
guy like models in VR and stuff, right?
Oh.
He does. He like creates stuff.
he makes NFTs and.
Uh-oh.
It's
amazing.
brilliant. Yeah, you should check out his stuff, man.
What is it? Where? Tell the people. We're in the after show.
Anybody can make anything in VR if you have the application, the tilt brush or the
I've
medium.
done tilt brush
or-
before.
Yeah. So tilt brush is kind of like a deprecated project, but people have picked up the code, and now there's a open source tilt brush called OpenBrush, and they've made amazing new brushes and figures and patterns with it, so that like you can animate scenes.
You can animate now until.
You can have the lines and I don't even know what the things you make move and have motion and give.
Because they had that before a little bit, like where they had a flame
streamers
one, or like,
and electricity and stuff.
Electricity,
but
it
now
wasn't
they have like ones that look like what is it, the floor exercise thing. With the,
Are you on Oculus? Do you have Oculus?
The
What's
ribbons?
the ribbons.
What's your handle? I'll add
After
you
the
one.
show.
Urban mask.
Oh, yeah,
urban
sorry,
mask
okay.
on
Yeah,
Oculus.
yeah.
Urban mask on anything. Everything. Find me.
Love it.
All right.
Nice. Sorry.
Well, I love that you put it in there, man, because it was beautiful.
Which one?
Just the idea of being in a world you can create.
Oh yeah. dude.
Do whatever you want.
What does Circle of Dreams Druid do? Like, what is? Are you drawing? Because you're drawing inspiration from that, right?
Yeah. So it's basically Hold up, mine.
You can fuck. Okay, you can fuck. Oh, wow. All right.
But Circle of Dreams Druid, I wanted to play to just have more fun role playing and less determining what's trying to happen in terms of where people go. And a lot, like, it gets really powerful around like level 12 to 15, which we will never get to. But it's like a healer sort of fighter. It has all the normal druid stuff, but you have the Fey pool, which you can draw on to restore heals to people and distribute, and that's at will, but there's also a pool to it. The Balm of the Summer Court is the druid from Xanathar's Guide to Everything, and I know I'm gonna screw it up. So, and this is part of the reason why I hate D&D, because someone's gonna be like, it doesn't do that. It does this. But it's more of a role-playing druid than a fighting druid, and a lot of the features are things like Dream, where you can send messages to anyone on this plane in their dream.
Cool.
That's very
And that's like later level stuff.
That's cool.
But you do get like teleport. You get some of the things that like Uzo kind of wanted to do.
Some of the face shit.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Nice. All right. Now, is Barry doing? I mean, Aaron, are you doing okay? Barry didn't have a lot to happen in this episode, other than like the really long jokes.
I think my goal was like I wanted to throw out like a question to Haldor, like, you know, I know you feel you've had a downfall, but you haven't had one like this. Like this, I didn't tell him the weight or what from the scar on Barry was, or what the repercussions of that accident were. But yeah, I wanted to get the point across that there was going to be a downfall, and whether there is one or isn't one, prepare for it. Because yeah.
I know that you had said that you know, hey, you know, we want to talk. So I was like, yeah, let's talk. Let's do a thing. And then I joked all over it, man.
I did too. I can't ignore a good riff. That's like, it's very conflicted.
It's hard.
You almost had a spit take there.
It's not coming out of my nose.
And for the record, I didn't know what he was gonna say to me. He was just like, "Hey, let's talk," and I was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
I will never forget or regret the bouncy quarter off his ass. That was the highlight. That was like the second tied highlight with like, watch yourself, boy.
That was great.
It is. I mean, it is. I mean, it's a new dynamic, right? With 5, trying to figure out, where do those stories come from? So I knew that, like in prep, I knew that we needed to have a scene.
Yep.
And we needed to have a scene. And also I worked all week, so I was like,
It was fantastic, man. Like the scenes that you pulled together with as much work as you could. That was brilliant. I really enjoyed the moment for Aldor, and I wouldn't change a thing. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping you didn't jump the gun on your reveal. I know when people want to talk about their origins and their backstories, they want it to naturally come up and prepare for it maybe.
Yeah.
But did that. In doing that, I swear to you, I had it written down that Lilac was going to appear as a human without even taking the cue from your.
Because I was very curious, because I feel like in the dream state and like an altered state of mind, it's like, are you doing your mental projection of what you see, or is it actually
how you feel the most
how you
comfortable?
feel? Exactly. And so I think that was great, because I'm like, I just want to make sure. So when you said, oh no, he's a human, then I'm like, okay, then you're going to see a maybe true form, I don't know, but you'll see what makes Locks feel most comfortable, what he's the most comfortable at, and then facade. But
Bards.
it was
exactly.
It was beautiful. Is what it was. What you both created right there was.
It was fun.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I
Really good moment.
just awestruck the whole time.
It was good. It was very it having just watched Doctor Strange too, you're saying all this I'm like, and that's how I was envisioning it. I'm like, you're traveling through the mirror dimension right now of seeing all this stuff, and I really like that, because I felt like you were getting to see into Lox's. I love that you also gave the control over. You're like, I thought I was the one manipulating this place, but it feels like I'm not doing this anymore, and then it kind of turned into that, which is going to be really fun when this happens. You know what I mean? We established something, but it doesn't have to be followed. But I'm very curious to see when you have
this state is still very new to Lilac, but on a relative scale, he's still more veteran than probably everybody else in the world.
Absolutely.
And so he's like, I don't fucking know what's going on. He's like, I didn't do that. That's kind of cool, I guess. It's like nothing. His you're safe here is kind of withering away. It's like, I don't really know, because this is getting a little grim.
So one thing I did notice is Lilac said, "Don't worry, I don't control you or anything like that." And then in the game, totally control. In the dream, totally control.
I stopped
Yeah. But no, it was great. I liked this moment, because up to this point in the game, Lox thought that you didn't like him, because there were moments on the journey where you'd be like, I don't trust him. Remember you kind of being shifty?
It was
not too many 12-year-old humans
speak Draconic.
And then he was just like, okay.
But then in this moment, and then seeing in the dream, I mean, Lox is gonna block, bard it up for a little while. Yeah. But in seeing that he feels most comfortable not as himself, Lox really relates to that, and so he's like, in The Sims, it would be like, oh, you've developed you're developing a relationship. Exactly. It's kind of what's happening here, which is very cool.
Nice.
And how do you feel about your budding romance with them?
Darius might have something to say about that.
Oh, are they a thing? I didn't know.
Well, they became a thing when I said that.
They're a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, and Izza's not too into that stuff.
Yeah.
It's she's just sort of like, yeah, I know the stories, but meh.
Oh yeah, and you revealed to Haldor.
I did.
That's
that I did not
right.
expect.
Yeah, neither did I. I was glad that Izza felt that she could trust him, right?
Well, because it was one of the only moments that she's actually seen him get really serious. Mm-hmm. Because there's all the joking and all of the other stuff, but having that moment of being like, hey, one can be defeated, two can defend themselves, but a cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. We've got a cord of 5. But having that moment where it's like he got serious and was like, "What are you hiding?" And it's like, you know what? Fuck it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, how does Haldor want to handle this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because on the one end, as you've seen, he's kind of very straightforward. Like sometimes to a fault, he'll just say what it is, right? So there's that aspect.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm trying to think if Haldor would understand the gravity of that secret,
Sure.
right? So I don't know if that was impressed on him at the time.
I mean, she tried to an extent where it was like, where I come from, this could get me killed.
I guess that makes sense. The way Haldor was playing that was like it was wild magic or something like that,
Sure.
and it would kill you if you're using it, right? Not that somebody else would find you for doing this.
Interesting.
And it would kill you.
Sure.
He was thinking, you're doing this and it could kill you, and you keep doing it, because
Oh.
literally.
I picked up on
Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't understand that. Yeah. So yeah, what's interesting to me is how different these two characters are, and yet so similar in some ways. Like, Izza is the child of a noble of basically Mage Haven nobility. Like the merchant classes are the nobility, and she's very well accustomed to. I mean, she's proficiency in deception. She's good at that. She's good at spinning the word. She's a lot like Remy, actually, in that particular way. And in that aspect, you are very like Andraste.
Is that
Very,
right?
very much straightforward, and being so straightforward that you surprise the truth out of someone.
I like it.
Yeah.
But with like a dash of stupid.
A dash, you say? A salt baby. A salt baby dash.
Something stupid.
2 shots of vodka.
When this interaction was happening, I started giggling to myself because I'm like, he's gonna misread these cues. Because she was like, you know what? I like you, and I'm like, oh no, he's misreading the cues.
I mean, for whatever it's worth, Izza hasn't hit puberty.
Oh, why do I think she's
17.
I thought she was in.
She hasn't hit puberty. She looks very, slim and boyish. And judging from Haldor's previous interactions,
Indeed.
slim and boyish is probably
Yeah.
not his thing.
I thought
Well.
guy.
Haldor may have come out of the cabinet at one point.
Nice.
Yes.
Cabinet's a lovely thing.
The joke because I'm Pan. He made the joke earlier about cabinets.
That's genius.
She made it.
That's genius.
Yeah.
And coming out of the.
I didn't come out of the closet. I came out of the cabinet like all the other Pans.
Oh my gosh.
But also, Haldor repaid your trust with telling you his last name.
Yeah. I noticed that was the first time it was said.
Harry and the Haldersons.
I love it. So I was really excited for that as well, for your character to share that and for them to kind of share that moment. Because he hasn't said it for a reason, right?
There's always a reason, isn't
It's
there?
a thing with him. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where it goes.
So yeah, lots of backstory stuff coming out, including Izza can see in the dark.
And none of us know about it. Yeah. Like all of that
It's gonna
come out,
be-
and still no one
there's gonna-
actually knows about anything.
There's gonna be Locke is gonna be the keeper of all secrets. He's
Yeah.
gonna be like dying. He's like, fucking tell everybody, man.
Gotta stop dreaming with people, man.
And what gets Izza about that is she didn't know that other people couldn't see in the dark.
That right.
She was like,
So it's a good thing that first interaction was with someone who could also see in the dark and was like, "Hey, just let you know, not all peeps."
She's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
The fuck?
I just imagine a scene where it's just like pitch black at the camp. Locke is staring up. There's no light, and then he like looks down and is staring him in the face, and he's like, "This."
More say crash.
She's like,
Can Barry see
Dragonborn have dark vision?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't have dark vision.
I would like to go back to last episode though, because we had combat then, right?
Okay.
And I wanted to ask Aaron about his rage.
Yes.
That was
That
so
joyful rage.
And I only want a taste of that catchphrase from the opener until a real good moment comes. But I wanted to have fun with the raging bit of it by making it like I don't think it'll ruin it by saying like what I'm kind of basing it off of, but it's more of like if anyone listening right now has seen My Hero Academia, that I'm kind of basing off of the All Might character in that, which is like a Superman archetype. You know what I mean? Just joyful, very like happy and like here to save the day just out of the merit of his own heart. But then he's a grumpy old man, you know.
I love it.
You get the best of both
And
worlds.
they're two sides of the same person. I've seen the first 3 episodes, so enough to see the shift.
That's pretty much all you need, really.
You know,
Well, not for the entire show. I recommend that. But I mean, like to get what I'm going
Yeah.
for, that's all you need.
You know, I have to say, I don't know what this table would be like with Haldor without Barry.
sure.
Or Barry without Haldor. No.
Yeah.
He just would be an unrelenting force of nature, Haldor.
It would probably end up hung upside down by from a bridge somewhere.
I don't know. I think that Barry and Haldor are they're gonna find their stride at some point.
Oh, yeah.
I really
Well,
do.
but I mean, I think together you're much more than the sum of their parts.
Yeah. I wanted so bad to be like, just to Barry, like, listen, or no, to Haldor, just, all right. So we're going to the Coliseum, right? Like,
Man,
Of course.
hitting that Remy and Ruckus rivalry real early there.
Well,
that was like
Am I wrong?
friendship rivalry. This one's like,
This is like I will actually
one's
kill you.
yeah.
this
well,
one's
no,
this
I
one's
won't
got more respect, I think.
This one's like, I'm trying to respect you, kid, but god damn, you make it hard.
Yes, I do. That's kind of the point, though, right? Like,
And on that bombshell.
I could have swore
Yeah.
Dragonborn. Yep, there we go.
hey, so you
I was
know,
like doubting myself. I was like,
No,
wait
you
a
can see in
second.
the dark.
you know, we're gonna want to go to that Coliseum.
Yes.
That's why you put it in there, right?
Dark vision. Yeah.
For us to go into it and
dude.
participate in the games and derail everything.
And remember,
I don't think so.
you
No?
can. Yeah.
All right.
The Dragon Boy.
I'll just say that it's there for a reason. It's not just there for no reason.
Shit, I missed that part. We were talking about
The
Dragon.
Coliseum.
Yes.
Well, it's there for a reason.
Yeah, it should be.
We don't know what the reason is, but let's go find out.
It's like Chekhov's gun. You see a gun, it better go off at some point. You see a Coliseum, I want to be in there.
I feel like editing the podcast, I'm like, I think I have an inkling about what's about to happen. So you should all listen to the podcast. You should all listen to the podcast before next week and see maybe, oops.
I'm not listening to
secrets.
me.
Yeah, don't do it.
I need to write the next one.
You listen to me all the
Think
time,
about-
and I hate it in there.
Think about-
I'm hilarious.
All right. Anyway, we're gonna go. I'm gonna go to bed. We're gonna go to work tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah! Question: If
Yeah.
World War III starts, do I still have to go to work?
Yes, because we live in a capitalist society.
Yep.
Oh, you'd much rather be on the other side of that fence.
But ours isn't good.
It's what is the phrase? Democracy is the worst form of government except for everything else.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, we're gonna go. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you, patrons.
Slava Ukraini.